The South Bay Runners Club is a group in the South Bay for marathons, triathlons, just getting outdoors and being active. There's runners and walkers. It's really great. There's kind of ability levels of all ranges, and so any day of the week. I mean, obviously, for a while with COVID, everything had kind of shut down, and now they're getting back to training. Before that, every day of the week, it seemed like there was somebody posting on the Facebook group or meeting up for a run, and just made it easier to get out for the run. And then during COVID, everything kind of shut down, and now they're back to meeting in smaller groups or different times. But definitely having a group to train with has made things easier, and having such a big group like the South Bay Runners Club definitely gives people to run with at any pace, any day, and any place. Utah Valley Marathon is about 4 weeks away from this weekend, so doing an easy 22 miles, just getting in a little bit of elevation today. Goal for Utah for me is sub 220. I mean, it'd be great if I could PR. The course record is 219, so that makes me believe it's probably a pretty challenging course. So if I can go under 220, I'll be happy, and if I can PR, I'll be pretty excited. Get out there and compete is the goal, and it's been a pretty good solid week, shooting for around 125 to 130 miles this week.
Shane was curious about what I did for work. Medical device rep for a company called Actigen. It's nerve repair. So inevitably I work in hospitals every day in and day out, working with trauma surgeons, hand surgeons, plastic surgeons to help support their cases when there's nerve trauma. So it's an interesting job because it's a lot of running around, and I essentially get called at different times, so I have to sort of be ready to run and support cases. But inevitably it's been a great training cycle the last 3 months. Some of the things I've learned is that volume really matters, and so I've increased my mileage pretty significantly. I think a 50-mile week would have been like a peak before, about as high as I went. This one I was able to get into the 70s, 80s pretty comfortably, and then hit a peak of 90, and I'm starting to taper down, and as I taper down, even 60 seems very reasonable now. As far as how I fit it in, even though my girlfriend is not a morning person, I definitely get up in the mornings around 6 and get the 7 to 8 miles in on the days that I'm just doing a singular volume run. The days where I need to get the same amount of mileage but I don't have as much time, I'll do a double. I'll do 5 in the morning or 3 to 5 in the evening, and just sort of double up like that. And overall, I'm really excited about Utah and the opportunity to race. It's been 19 months for me, and I honestly couldn't think of a better way to kind of put a bow on this training cycle. Had a really good tempo run last night of 8 miles and was able to average about 5:50 pace, and that felt really good, and I'm excited for the 5th of June.
Hey.
All right, what's your goal for Utah?
I've run one marathon, I ran 248, so I don't really know what to expect, but we're kind of targeting 240 and maybe just under. I think it's realistic given the mileage and the speed I've been doing, so let's call it a 239.50 to be safe, maybe faster.
And what's the run today?
22 miles, gonna go around Palos Verdes, 2,000 feet of elevation gain, and yeah, I'm gonna get some good, easy, relatively strong effort miles in today.
I'm a senior product manager at Beachbody. I fit in all the running just around my schedule. I work at 9 to 5, so usually run once in the morning and once in the afternoon for about an hour. It's really just getting an hour in each day and then going long once or twice a week and working out once a week. And yeah, I reached 100, I think this will be the 6th week in a row. I think we maxed out at like 118, 120. But it's felt pretty good. I haven't felt tired at all, really.
And what's the workout today?
3 by 2 miles and then a 2 by 1 mile, all at half marathon pace. And we're about 2.5 weeks out from our race.
And what's the goal?
I don't know. Yet to be determined, I guess? No. Run 640, so around a 255 marathon.
I'm Michael Gonzalez, and I'm currently active duty in the Air Force at LA Air Force Base. Currently, I'm a triathlete first, and through triathlon I realized I needed to become a better runner, so I joined South Bay Runners Club. I joined, hired Shane a while ago to do some, to run the LA Marathon and to PR in the marathon, as my last marathon had been a 4:18. So I ran LA and I ran it in 3:09 and some change, like 40 something. So that's my current PR. I've been training to run 6:40 pace, which would net a sub 2:55 marathon. So that's the main goal. To get in training, I usually have to wake up pretty early, run at lunch, or run in the afternoon when my kids are asleep. So for this training cycle, I peaked at 90 miles, which is more than I've ever run before. And I actually had 3-4 weeks where I actually ran more mileage than I had before in the build up to the LA Marathon. So I think that that's gonna help me out quite a bit. And the most challenging workout that I did to date was probably running, I did 21 miles and I did alternating pace between race pace and then a minute easier than race pace. So I did 6:40 and then 7:40, and on like that. So my goal for this race is to run sub 2:55, but I would be happy with coming in under the BQ time. And I believe that one of the things that helped me out the most this time around was having like-minded individuals to train with during this time where there was no races to keep us motivated. I trained with Shane, Rick, Raul, Adam, Dan, and we trained a lot. And Dan's pretty similar to my fitness. Well, he's quite a bit faster on his easy runs, but we all trained together, and it was definitely motivating to have like-minded people to push you and keep you accountable.
Living, I do a lot of freelance editing work for TV, and it's been a challenge trying to fit in the training schedule, but I'm able to do it by making sure that my runs are done first thing in the morning, and I get up 5 a.m. and make sure it's done then, because if I put it off, it ends up not happening, or it gets really hard because of my other commitments. So just making sure the runs are done early in the morning. The training for this race has been probably the most intense as far as effort and also the amount of time required. And I feel great after it all, and I'm looking at anywhere between a 6:40 and 6:50 pace for this race.
Hi, my name is Rick McRae. I work in the Port of Long Beach. I operate a crane, unloading and loading the container ships. I've been training now for 8 weeks for the Utah Valley Marathon. Been averaging roughly 90 miles a week. My highest peak was 1:04. I try and squeeze a run, sometimes as early as 5 a.m. before work, sometimes 8 o'clock in the evening, and other days I'm able to get it in mid-morning, 8, 9 o'clock, and then another one around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm 46 years old, and my current PR is 2 hours, 38 minutes, and 57 seconds. Goal would be to run in the neighborhood of 2:32, so we'll see.
My name is Raul Arcos. My PR is 2 hours and 21 minutes and 48 seconds. I am currently training for the Utah Valley Marathon on June 5th, which is this weekend, and I've been up here in Park City, Utah for just a little bit over 3 weeks now, altitude training to get ready for this race specifically, because I've never done an altitude marathon before and it's downhill. So I wanted to come up here and join some of the pro groups up there and really, get the experience and really get adjusted to make sure I put myself in a contention of either winning it or getting the top 5 for prize money. So I would like to go under 2:21:48 for a big PR, and if the course record is 2 hours and 19 minutes, if I can go for that, that'd be even better. So yeah, let's do this.
Hi, my name is Ross Chun. I am an electrical engineer working for J&J in MedTech, working on surgical robots. Running is my de-stressor, and I've been training for the Utah Half Marathon now for about 10 weeks. Been running maybe averaging about 65, 70 miles a week. I peaked at about 85. My half marathon PR is 122. The goal was to break 120. So I put in the work. The workouts haven't gone as well as I wanted to. So I'm just gonna, the fitness might be there, but we'll see how the pacing goes. Running, trying to fit running in is a daily struggle. I just try to plan out the week, look at the what my running schedule is, and try to fit runs in, whether early, before work, after work. On the weekends, more flexible with my work, just 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, so weekends are usually more flexible for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Right on 609, 610.
So yeah, today was a total of 12 miles. We did start with the downhill simulation, 3 miles downhill, good downhill off the Palos Verdes over here. Stopped for 2 minutes, did another single mile down the boardwalk, another downhill section. So that was good 4 miles of like really beating the quads and getting that sense of what it's like to go downhill for a long period of time. Then we hit the boardwalk back and forth, a mile marathon race pace, 2-minute rest. So we had 9 left to do at that point following the downhill miles. I'm sorry, 8 rather, and was holding about 5:55 evenly throughout, and those felt pretty comfortable. Recovery was perfect and pace felt pretty manageable. So goals like 2:38, 2:37 in the marathon, it's right about that pace. So we'll see what happens, but today was a good workout.
What's the workout?
4-mile warm-up?
Yeah, and then on and off marathon pace and a minute slower than marathon pace.
Yeah, buddy.
For 20 miles. It should be fun.
Very fun.
So 24. Workout just finished, 24 miles, on-off segments of supposed to be 5:40, 6:40, but the off segments were a little bit slower, and the on segments were in the 5:30 range. Really, it was feeling pretty good. Salim here helped for the first half, which made a big difference. The Olympic gold medalist here, Salim. It's a while ago.
Yeah.
In Taekwondo, what is it, 92?
Yep.
92 Olympics. And so yeah, that really made a big difference to have somebody pushing me at the 5:30 range. Finished up about 130 miles this week. Plan was 150, but work got busy, and yeah, it just made it tough. Yeah, we did the mile repeats earlier this week, and honestly, I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it through it because I dropped out of the workout the week before. So good solid week of training, and 3 weeks till the marathon. See how it works out. My name is Shane Inman. I'm a real estate agent for Remax Estate Properties. I also coach cross country and track at West Torrance High School, and I also coach adult athletes for marathons and half marathons and 5Ks and 10Ks, whatever their goal might be. So my schedule is kind of all over the place. It kind of just depends on the day, how and when I can fit in the runs. This training cycle went really well. I was able to get in a couple 130-mile weeks. I was hoping for more, but just kind of depended on the week. Some weeks were better than others. There might be some days where I got time to run 3 times in a day, and there might be days where I don't have time to fit in a run at all. So it just kind of depends day by day. So training went really well for the first part of the training cycle, and then the last 3 weeks kind of got tough. So I somehow sprained my ankle is what the doctor thinks, and that kind of made me take a couple of days off, and then from there I was just struggling to get back going. The last 3 weeks of the training cycle were not what I had hoped for, and my plan was to run the marathon, but still kind of unsure of what my fitness is at and what my injury level is with the sprained ankle. I just wasn't confident in running the marathon. So tomorrow is the race, and I've switched to the half marathon instead. And so my goal is to PR. I run 106.57.5, and so if I can get top 3 and run a PR, that's kind of the goal.
I just feel like I'm
Post-workout fueling?
Yeah!
This is the first time I don't actually eat after lunch.
So Utah did not go as planned for me. Going in throughout the training cycle, it's been showing that, you know, I'm really fit. I was ready to throw down a fast time, but the elevation and the downhill definitely got to me. But I know for this upcoming next training cycle, it will carry over. All the sacrifices I did, you know, the workouts with the team, will carry on over to this one, and I'm looking forward to it.
But to sort of recap the race, had a great effort that day. I was really pleased with the result. Overall, I would call it a successful training cycle and a successful race effort. 2:39.49 for my second marathon, coming off a 2:48 marathon debut a couple years ago. So looking forward to what's ahead. I got Boston in October, CIM in December.
Hi, my name is Rick McRae, and somebody once asked me if all the training and sacrifices I make in training is worth it, and I would say most definitely is. To be able to run some pretty fast times as a Masters runner is such a great feeling. It's great to train with other runners with the same intentions down there at South Bay Runners.
I was fortunate enough to PR in the marathon, and for me it was really worth all the sacrifice and time that I put into it. And I just want to thank Shane for pushing me and all of us to get better and really push for those last few weeks of training.
So Utah Valley Marathon was tough. So I actually had to walk a few times before making that final push to the finish. I was able to finish in 3:12, and I think more than anything, after crossing that finish line, I was just glad to be done.
So after I'd done Utah, there was a marathon nearby. It was the Delaware Marathon. I wanted to take advantage of the fitness that I gained. I felt like I was in pretty good shape, so I decided to sign up. I came out with 1:24.46. I got second in my age group, which I lost first by 11 seconds. So not a PR, but it was an honest course, and it definitely tested my abilities. And I felt really good after it, and I do feel like I came away with a lot of fitness.
So this is my recap for the Utah Half Marathon. I ran a PR, 1:20.26, and I have to say I was very shocked and surprised. I'm still really proud of how the race went, especially with how training went this past training block for this race. For whatever reason, my body, just did very well on race day and was able to get a PR. So I'm very excited and motivated for the next race.